targeted budget schemes and strategies for them. The Indian community is one which has been marginalized for many years in Malaysia. Although we do not outline all the programs that we want to outline in the budget, because many of these programs will be put in the manifesto, what we do have here is, I think, very important programs that will be attractive to the Indian community. Firstly, we want to set up a special fund to increase Indian equity participation. Right now, estimates are that the Indian participation or ownership of the equity market is less than 2%. Definitely, this needs to be increased, and we will have a special fund to look into this to increase Indian equity participation. We will introduce a single parents welfare program whereby funding will be given to single parents who up to the tune of 100 ringgit a month for each child, so that this can be used to incentivize them to stay in schools. We also have an allocation of 200 million a year for Indian NGOs to help the Indian community, and we promise to properly fund Tamil schools. Tamil schools, in terms of the infrastructure, is very, very poor compared to national schools, and our commitment is to give each and every Tamil school enough allocation to bring them to the same standard as our national schools. On the issue of Chinese new villages, currently we have over 600 new villages Chinese new villages in Malaysia. Many of them are experiencing the outflow of young people because there are not enough job opportunities and also economic activities in these Chinese new villages. We will give an allocation of 60 million, which works out to an average of 100,000 for each new village. Some will receive more because their needs are greater. Some will receive less because they are relatively prosperous already. We want to make sure that this money goes into interest loans, low interest loans, to enable those who want to stay back in the village or those who want to go back to their new villages to invest as entrepreneurs in business such as tourism, restaurants, small industries and whatnot. And then lastly, for BRIM, we will retain and maintain BRIM, but we will have a tweak to BRIM whereby it is given out on conditions. We call it conditional cash transfer. This is something that is popularly practiced in many developed countries, so that we want to incentivize BRIM receivers to do something positive for themselves in exchange for having access to BRIM. So, for example, the details you can read in the budget itself. So those who, let's say, are capable of working, we will ask them to work for a minimum period of 3 months before they are eligible to receive BRIM, as an example. For those who are not capable of working, for example, the old as well as those who are the OKUs, they don't need to fulfill the same conditions for having access to BRIM. But we also have a condition whereby we want to restrict the spending of BRIM money to prevent it from being spent on frivolous and non-essential items. We want to make sure that it's being spent for items which can benefit the family and not be spent on things like cigarettes and things that are not beneficial to the larger family.
Okay, we come now to the last segment, which is the government finance reform. One of the primary issues